I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. No way now, I'll give up everything.
The venom in my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen no many ones that are so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted, created a legacy off of me just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode. My name is TradeFly. I'm bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. That being said, it was a interesting little weekend for price action. It was a little choppy, I would say the least, but we do have some key levels for us to look at today. Seems like I say that every day, but I also I have I would say a small announcement in terms of I'm gonna try to keep a little bit of a tighter schedule. So what I'm looking at doing is really hitting that 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time slot. I'm gonna try to hit that as much as I can. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is what I'm gonna be shooting for on YouTube, and then Tuesday is gonna be an X day. I'm gonna try to be with quantum economics. I think they're actually in bed with ElevenX as well, but I'm gonna be doing that on Tuesdays. That's gonna be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll probably be in and out of the Discord as well, trying to show you guys a little love. But Thursdays is gonna be my dedicated brigade day, because I gotta give you guys some love, right? You guys are paying for the premium. Yes, we give you the signals, but like I got to give you some love, some dedicated time of mine during the week as well. And then of course Tuesday, like I said, that'll kind of be an X day, so probably hit up some BGT in the evening. You know how it is. Fam bam, we go support those guys as well. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead over to the chat, say what's up to everybody. Trade Intuition, I see you, brother. Thank you for bringing over your viewers, much appreciated. Much love, dude. I was just over there checking out the channel while I was getting set up, so hope all is well. Hope you had a great weekend. Gotta say what's up to my dude Harp. How you doing, brother? Of course, we got the mod queen herself, Alexandra G, the best mod in all of the space. What up, lady? Hope you had a good weekend as well. My man Steve Hickey, he said, hey peeps, how are you? My man Crypto Squids in here. Yo, what up to you, bro? He's one of the analysts in the Discord, just dropping those fire signals. You know how we do over there. Of course, get over there. Another announcement. I know you guys have heard me talk about it, but the signals, or the trade brigade, that price is gonna go up. All right, that price is gonna go up. We got people in. We're gonna lock you guys in for 20 bucks. The ones that are in, you're grandfathered in. So I'm gonna give you guys probably, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run it towards the middle to the end of September. So I think from mid-September to the end of September, I'll lock everybody that wants to get in at that $20 rate. You'll be good. You'll be grandfathered. No questions asked from here on out. But if you're not in, and that price is gonna go up. We gotta bump those prices up. I'm paying people. We gotta make this happen, and then that way we can ramp up some of the content that I can offer you guys as well. So the more I can pay people, the more that they can dedicate their time to you guys, giving you some of those, personalized, we'll say that personalized content and those interactions with these guys. I gotta obviously pay them a little more to make that happen. So that being said, let's go ahead and keep this going. Running through some of the shout outs here. Who else we got? We got my man Jesse Galuk. What up, bro? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. We got Mark Dutch in the house. He said Trade Intuition sent him. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. The Dusty Hunt. Yo, what up, bro? Good to see you. My man RS Miller 747. What up? Crypto Coin Mindset Trade Intuition Raid. You know it, man. Thank you guys very much. DDT, what up, dude? Is that a bit late? No, I'm late, so don't you worry. You are on time. We're gonna get this thing going. Crypto changed me. What up? He said Trade Intuition Raid. Look at that, man. I love it. Thank you very much, guys. Much love. Danny Quest, my dude, how you doing, bro? Good to see you in here. Love it. Love seeing you in the Discord as well, man. Very happy to see that. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get this party started. We'll keep the news pretty quick here, but NASDAQ has filed with SEC to allow tokenization blockchain listing of stock. So think about BTCC and some of these other exchanges that are offering this, and this is not going to be in the US initially. They have already said Coinbase is actually going to bring this to, well, sorry, the NASDAQ will be in the US, yes, but Coinbase and Kraken, I think they've already announced it, those abilities to list, like assets on the NASDAQ, which is really cool. So you can like trade Apple and Tesla, and it's going to be on the blockchain. I think they're going to call it like X stocks or something like that from what I was reading. But the NASDAQ now is looking to do that as well. So this is going to get interesting. So the NASDAQ has already proposed doing 24-hour trading and now tokenized assets or blockchain listings of the stocks. Like, that's pretty cool, man. So you can see, like, we are evolving. When it comes to trading, we are evolving, and right now we do have at least the people in power that are kind of pushing for it to see that next step, that next evolution. Pretty cool. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does, to be honest with you guys. Let me do a little adjusting here. It looks like my screens are a little bit out of whack. Let me just make sure that they're all lined up for you guys. Hopefully it looks okay. All right, over the crypto bubbles, MYX through the freaking roof. All right, that's 246%. Good Lord. I think Harp said just blindly long that thing. Maybe we'll do that for the daily degen. Why not? Let's have some fun with it. Hex is up 23%. World Coin is up 44%. Looking good. Pingu up 16.2. SPX, I know you guys like that. 14.1. Bonk is up 12.2. Good to see. Virtual up 9.7. Let's see what's going in the wrong direction. World Liberty Financial is down 7.1%. Saros is down 9.6. And I guess we can say Quant is down 4%. So there you go, man. MYX, big mover of the day. And then WorldCoin looking pretty good as well. So total market cap sitting at 3.89 trillion. Fear and greed index is at 42 neutral. Let's go down to let's see, where is dominance? Does it not have dominance listed anymore? I hate this new setup. This is absolutely silly. You guys are gonna, Coin market cap. You better listen to me. Listen to me good. I look at, oh, it's at the bottom. There you go. You changed where it's at. I got it now. I got it because I was about to get mad at you. No lies. All right, so can you see the, yeah, you guys can see it. Cool. All right, Bitcoin dominance sitting at 57.6. That's actually down. That was at 58.5 last week. 24-hour trading volume is up 131 billion. That's up 58.08%. That's not surprising on a Monday. Been there, done that, seen that. All right, let's go ahead and get into what's fun. You know, you guys love it. It is going to be our next segment, and that is the Daily Degen. All right, so we talked about MYX. Let's go ahead and see if that is on here. It is 239% on Bitunix through the freaking roof. I bet you guys are, you got to be long right now. 14 votes, yeah, 71% long. All right, this is going to be crazy. This could just absolutely get wrecked in a hurry. Whatever, man. Let's do it. MYX, it's just the Daily Degen. You know how we like to have fun on that. All we need is just got to go up a little bit in the next like 15 to 30 minutes. So 20x leverage. We got a 5x long, or not 5x, just $5 long. So nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. We're good here. Of course, Bitunix is saving me on the fees. Let's get it. It's in there, and it's bouncing all around. Good googly moogly. All right, so what do you guys think? I mean, we obviously this is not how I usually trade, but what do you think? What should our out be? What do you think a stop loss and a TP on this one should be? Because this is it's black magic. Let's call it what it is. Let's go ahead, at least slide this TP up to here. See if it'll take. There we go. You got TP in there. We'll put this just below the oh, that's not what you want to see. Man, that thing moves quick, aggressively. All right. Well, we got ourselves protected at least. All right. We'll practice somewhat. So, no, this is not good. That thing's gonna get stopped out like in a hurry. Yeah, I figured that. There it goes. Well, that's why you do stop losses, ladies and gentlemen. Look at we should have shorted that one, but it is what it is, man. We're out here to have fun. Daily Degen for the loss, not for the win today. FTL, baby. Look at that thing go. That is exactly why you do stop losses. Look at that. Because, like, I mean, here, this is good educational. Like, that's wild. I've never seen it move like that before. But here you go. So we lost what? It was a 4% move to the downside of 20x leverage. So that's a big loss. But look at how crazy it could have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doubled in like less than a minute. Less than a minute. So that is why you do a stop loss. You'll learn that quick. All right. Well, Daily Degen, it was fun. We did that. Let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the show. let's not be degens anymore. Let's go do some real stuff. All right, economic calendar. You do have the non-farm payrolls annual revision that is coming out tomorrow, and then Wednesday, September 10th, you got PPI month over month. The 11th, you got core inflation rate, and then inflation rate. So month over month and year over year, and then Friday is going to be Michigan consumer sentiment. So obviously, core inflation, inflation rate, those are going to be some biggies. That has an opportunity to shake the mark a little bit. All right, so if you guys want to get the alpha, you guys know where to go. Go check out my man Army Piper on the Piper Academy, and he's gonna break that down for you. Alrighty, over to the heat map. You know what? I want to go over to the chat because I want to see the giggles. I want to see the giggles real quick. No SL. Crypto changed me. You would got me wrecked, bro. That would have got liquidated. That's funny. Gotta have that SL, bro. Gotta have it, especially when you see some volatility like that. You could see that moved up so aggressively that, you know, for it to pull back, not a big surprise there. Yeah, I sold. It will fall now. Yeah, there you go. I'd blindly short it at this point. Yeah, dude, I would have too, but man of the people, you guys voted Moon. I gotta respect it. So just taking that $5. I pretty much just give $5 to y'all every day. Just like, here you go, do what you want with it. Full send. See what happens. I don't know. At some point, are you guys costing me money? All right. You have a Discord, TradeFly? Yeah, yes. And you're in it. Thank you very much. Wix Wi Fine 89. What up, lady? good to see you. Thank you for being here. Junior, JR, sorry. What do you like to... I'm assuming it's separated, so you like to go by JR. I don't know if I've ever actually asked you that question, even though I always say JR. All right, scrolling down some more. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's keep this going. All right, looking at the liquidation heat map, we did have some liquidity up here to the top side, really around 112. I had it marked on the charts. I think 112.9 was kind of like the top of the area, and it's very interesting. Very interesting. Look where we went. So 112.9 was where I had marked. So let's update this because I want to go back and talk about that a little bit. And then, so what do we got? 109.4. Let's go down to the charts right here, and let's go ahead and update that real quick. But I do want to talk about the 112.9. That is applicable. All right, 109.400. Here you go. All right, if you guys do want to get over the Discord, by the way, that is in the description, I believe. It's also in the chat. So it's pinned to the chat. So there you go. All right, so let's have a little talk, shall we? Looking at the daily, we haven't really had a lot change on the daily. And this is really part of the reason why I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do YouTube, because I'm more of a swing trader, more of an intraday kind of guy, I don't do as much of the scalping. It seems like there's a lot of days where I'm rehashing the same information. This hasn't changed much, to be honest. We still have the dynamic reactor underneath of us. We still have a solid area of support, the POC, a horizontal. You were looking to see if you get that breakout, retest the downside, and then we'd be looking for this area down here, but we haven't seen that yet. So it's kind of really, it's just kind of stair step down. We're consolidating. I think we can all agree on that. And, as of right now, it's stuck in a range. And until we break this area right here, when I say that, I'm talking about where the monthly pivot is, but the problem, right? You would be getting a change of character, yes, but the problem is it's straight in to a horizontal level. It's the value area low of the previous range. There's a few things, and I believe let me pull up the moving average real quick. Let me turn off my strategy tester. Let's get rid of that. Let's pull up the moving averages, because I had to take those down. Again, I'm going to add some stuff here. I'm just waiting for the old Black Friday event. All right, so yeah, there you go. Let me update this though. Let's make this 21. We'll turn this to white. Let's make this the 50. Yep, that's good. No, I want to keep it selected. Let's make it blue. We'll get rid of you, and then we will add green. There you go. That's usually the setup I like. So I do the 21, the 50, and the 200. So, okay, that is... All right, the 21 has moved down pretty aggressively. So I was talking about this cross here that we had, the 21 and the 50. But now the 50 is kind of working its way down too. All right, so what I'm getting at here, even if we were to break to the upside of the monthly pivot, right? Let's say we break that area, which is acting as horizontal resistance. You're straight into more resistance. So it's going to be really, really tough in that area. And I talked about that a little bit last week. It's going to be tough to break through. I think you'll get pretty aggressive once we do. Like, I think a move to the POC of the previous range will be quite easy, to be honest with you. And it aligns with the golden pocket, right? So I expect resistance up there. That's at 117.867 to be a little bit more specific. I do expect some resistance to be there. And I think that move might come pretty quick. So I don't know if you'll have an opportunity for a breakout retest continuation up to that area. But if you do, obviously, keep an eye for it. Keep an eye for it. I just don't know that it's going to happen because you've seen the pressure starting to build. It is building towards, this horizontal level of resistance. But here nor there, that's an area to keep an eye on if we do get a breakout to the upside. I just think it's going to be tough just because you have so many different, aspects of resistance sitting above you. But I feel like I've talked about that before and we've made it through before. Overall, structure looks pretty sound. We've talked about this quite a few times. It's a series of higher highs, higher lows. If you zoom out, if you're on the daily and you're looking at it from just the structure, like, this looks good. This looks pretty healthy. Obviously, we have this lower trend line down here. Now, one of the things I did talk about is that I would love to see this extension. All right, and what am I saying by that? Like, that's not like a technical term or anything, but like the extension of price action, I wouldn't mind seeing consolidation. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Like, the closer you get to interacting with this trend line and some of these other levels line up with the platinum pocket, this horizontal level, the 200 though, you may miss that opportunity. It does look like the 200 is starting to move its way up. You will get price action off the 200, but coming down and having confluence especially now you have the quarterly pivot coming in. So that was something that I updated today. This morning, you have a demand zone. There's just a lot of support down here. So I believe, I want to say I may have opened a limit order. I don't know if I opened it for Bitcoin. Let's do that. I don't think I did. I didn't. Not here, at least. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to throw it. We'll throw a G on that one. Let's go 5X. Match those up. Not 20. She's a flip. 5. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin. There you go. And what's that, a limit order, right? Lower fees that way. I'm all about it. I'm not usually a big fan of going right on a psychological area, so let's go ahead and front run that a little bit. We'll front run that. We do have a limit order in. Nope, not the cost value, Dodo. There you go. 100, 500. There we go. Cost value will be a G. All right, sweet. And I don't know why it defaulted 44x leverage. Good thing I came back and checked it. This thing is, you got to hold the settings here, bro. Bitunix, hold your settings. All right, cool. So we're isolated 5x. We got 105 in at a cost value of 1,000. Cool. That all looks Gucci. Send it. No fees. Thank you very much. I'm in on that. Let's go. All right. So current limit orders I have. I'm not usually a big limit order guy. That being said, we got some very key levels for a lot of these assets, and I'm okay. Like these are times where, like, if I'm gonna get an asset at these prices, I'm okay, because like at some point I truly believe like it'll go back up. At least to give me the opportunity to maybe put a stop loss back at entry and see if we can get this thing to run up a little bit. But current orders that I have are limit orders. I'm gonna go through that with you right now. I have Bitcoin. I got that open at 100,500. Link, I got $20.30. Solana, 127. ETH, 2,900. And ADA at 56 cents. All right, so those are all the current limit orders I have. Now, if you're looking at the charts, you're gonna look at it and you're like, hey, you're crazy, man. Most of those are pretty far away. Yep. That's what I like to do, man. And you know what happens is I turn around and I get, 40%, 50% bangers on spot, because I'll identify very good zones that have a lot of confluence, and that's where I'll jump in. Now, a lot of times I would like to put some type of an alert, but what I've noticed here as of late, because I've become more busy, is that the areas typically hold up. Those areas, they usually at least get some price action out of them. Can it get weird for me? Yeah, it could. But that's why you protect yourself with stop losses, and that I'll look at. I'll look at as we get there. But here nor there, let's go over. We've already talked about the economic calendar. We have already talked about the liquidity, or the liquidation heat map. All right, so back to the charts. So why did I put that order in? Well, I really just like this area. All right, so it could come down. Could come down to the demand zone. It could come down to the quarterly pivot, and like I would be okay with that. Now, the other thing is you would like to see some of the liquidity taken off the table. So like I understand that there very well could be, a wick down here, right below this area, but like I got to bake that in. Okay, so like I've seen these areas get front run. I saw that last time. We went down to about 72,000, but I would say most of the time you see us come down and grab what liquidity is down here, which would be your demand zone. All right, and right where your quarterly pivot is, just below where you had support. So there is liquidity down here. So to see a wick down, you're likely to see an aggressive move back up with buying pressure at around 100,000, the psychological area. All right, there's probably going to be people, at least retail, that might have a little bit of an influence on price action at about 100,000, because they're just going to be like, hey, if Bitcoin comes to 100,000 again, I'm buying. So, we'll look for that, and we'll just keep an eye on it. And then once we get that price reaction, then I'm going to set my stop loss. So there you go. Could get weird, but I like this area. So should you. So currently, again, just pushing up. This is really what we got to break for Bitcoin, and that'll help out the rest of the market. I mean, but it's getting into that thing again, you know, and I've said this before. So if Bitcoin dominance is going down and Bitcoin is consolidating in an area, that's usually an okay sign for some of the altcoins, right? It gives them opportunity. You see a little rotation of money going into the altcoins, and it seems to be what you're seeing for some of them, but you're getting that whack-a-mole effect, right? I've talked about that before. So you get that whack-a-mole where like some will pop and you're like, damn, I wish I would have kept that, or I wish I would have kept the other one. And it just is bouncing around. You'll get a 1% move on one, you'll get an 8% move on a different one, 10% move on a different one, 2% move, and it's just like all over the place. And it's hard for you guys to keep up. So unfortunately, you have to have exposure to, you know, the assets that you want to have exposure to catch those trends. Or not even those trends, but really those aggressive moves. So there's other ones you can just jump on while it's hot, right? Like I think some of you guys made some money on NYX or whatever it is that we just got burned on. You know, but when you see things are on fire, I know Squid's pretty good about catching those. He'll let you guys know in the Discord, and sometimes you can just ride the gravy train, baby. Just ride it up and then cash out, man. Realize the profits. And that's the biggest thing with those. When you're catching those trends and you're catching something that's moving very aggressively to the upside, inevitably it probably will come down, especially if it's a meme coin or an altcoin. Just make sure that you're being smart about it. Okay, lock in your profits, slide up your stop loss, you know, do the smart things. All right, that's the important part of this game. All right, let's go over to the USDT dominance. Let's look at that. We did get a rejection out of that area. So we've been looking at this, gosh, it feels like for weeks now. USDT dominance is just struggling right here in this area. You got a nice little horizontal level of resistance. You have the dynamic reactor we've talked about. Dude, remember the dynamic reactor was acting as support for a long time. I mean, it's been pretty key in a lot of this price action. Look at how it just struggles with the dynamic reactor as resistance right here. It was support here. And look, I mean, there's a ton of interactions with that level or with that indicator. It's pretty wild how well it respects it. Right now, you're just sitting underneath of it. You did get a rejection and you're working your way down, but it's this level that we've had this pink box on that, again, between the dynamic reactor and this pink box. It's so funny saying the pink box. Gosh, make myself giggle. Anyways, so the pink box, it's a struggle, and we would like to see it get rejected out of this area. Okay, God, I mean, you can just take this so many different ways. Get rejected from the pink box. Anyways, you would like to see price action work its way down, lose some of these moving averages that are below right now. That's the 50. So you got the 21, the 50. You get below those areas right there, and we would like to see this price action begin to work its way down. If it does work its way down, all right, we've talked about this before, it's an inverse relationship, then, you know, that opens up the door for the, you know, crypto or the total crypto market to actually start working its way up, right? Inverse relationship. But here nor there, you can see there is an opportunity here to see a bounce in terms of the market cap dominance right here at about 4.35. And we've talked about that level before, right? We've talked about it many times. You can see how we've interacted with that level, both support and resistance. So I would say 4.35 is actually pretty key to a lot of what's going on right now. And it almost like I'm tempted, if it wasn't for this right here, I would be tempted to actually kind of condense the pink box to bring it down a little bit, because I think this is more of a more key area right here at about 4.4 to 4.35. But unfortunately, just coming back up on the chart, you see this, like that's what keeps me in the game right there. So that's why I have this area, this range, we'll say, for the pink box. All right. Let's go over to the total market cap. We'll talk about that a little bit. We did find support and this trend line, man. I mean, this was just amazing how well that played out. Came down to the 0.786 as well. So, I mean, if you're taking yeah, man. So you take from low to high here. All right. Just so you know, like, where is that derived from? Where are they getting the fib retracement? And this is populated by ElevenX. It does it all for you, which is kind of nice. You take it from the swing low to high. And it's really that simple. So low to high came down to the 786, which is a great area in confluence with the trend line and this horizontal level. We've come back to the left here, and we've talked about that. These two rejections here, right? So this is beautiful. Honestly, it looks really, really good in terms of the total market cap. When you zoom out, I still say that you're bullish. All right. you're bullish until we start losing this trend. And it would be hard to argue any other way. There's some people that are arguing they're starting to see like inverse head and shoulders on multiple charts, and I could see what you're looking at here, right there. It's not super prominent, but like right there, right there, right there. You know, that pushes you to the upside potentially. All right, and you see that on a few charts. All right, so that covers the total market cap. Let's go back over the chat real quicksy. Andrea, how are you? Thank you for being here as well. And let's see here. Scrolling down a little bit more. Albert, what up, bro? Good to see you in the chat. All right, let's keep it going. How you doing? Keep it moving. All right. Let's go to see what the Nasdaq's doing. That's up today. Nice little recovery, huh? Whew. Man, look at that. Look at the wick on that one. Came down in a nice little demand zone right off the 50 SMA and off and away, man. Really nice bounce out of that area. Really just keeping this trend alive. We talked about this channel. It's just been pretty much up and right besides the tariff news. It's kind of hard to even fight against it. So again, I mean, levels kind of remain the same for me. I'm not going to beat those up, but for those that are new around here, look at the dynamic reactors working its way up now and a little bit. So you have a demand zone and now you have the dynamic reactor that's kind of worked its way up. So was that 20,000 to about 20,002? So there you go. Still like that area. I'm not sold on us getting back down there because it's just been so aggressively to the upside. So it would take some kind of weird event happening for it to come down there. But like it's like this, like you're looking at these levels and you're like, okay, cool. When we get these aggressive pullbacks, like where's a good level for us to find a bounce? And that's really what I'm doing here. Is just looking at like, hey, like if something weird goes on and for whatever reason the market starts pulling back, and it's inevitable. It's gonna happen at some point. So let's take that off. But it's still in the channel. But yeah, be ready for it, right? And that's all I'm doing there with the Nasdaq. Let's go over to Apple. We talked about that one. We did see a rejection out of that. Remember, I do like this level here. Have the golden pocket. You got some moving averages. But really, it's the top of this range here. So looking at the price action, looking at the golden pocket, it's obviously going to be a nice area to find yourself a bounce. Obviously, the horizontal all lines up. That's, I think we said about 213 to about 217. All right, so 213 to 217 in that area. You're likely to see some price action for Apple if you're into traditional stocks. I think you'll find a bounce there, but you do have the 200 under that, right? So, or not under it, but above it. So understand, like it's not going to be a straight shot down to this. There's no way. You got the 200, you got the 0.5, which is a nice spot. Like if you want to get aggressive and, you know, do a short play on Apple, somewhere around that area, around 220 would make a lot of sense for a bounce as well. I just think you'll probably see a sharp, not a sharp rejection, but a quick rejection based on being the lower support level here. So, you know, you got to be worried about breaking out. So let's say that it actually comes down, and let me show you what I'm talking about here. It's really just about trying to stay ahead of the price action. All right, I could see a very logical flow like that. That would make a lot of sense. But then what? Likely you get a pretty good bounce back up, and that's really what I'm talking about. So breaks out, breaks down from the support area, comes back up. You find support at the 200 and the 0.5, right? That all makes sense. And you got the moving averages kind of working their way up here. Dynamic reactors working its way up. You know, at some point you're gonna have a lot of confluence in that area at 220 to see a bounce. And then it's the retest, right? So you're retesting this area of support. Does it flip into resistance? Well, you gotta be ready for that. So that's why I say you gotta be quick, right? Especially when you start getting a move to the downside, if you get the move to the downside. I'm not saying that's happening for Apple. I'm just saying if then, okay? If then. That's my mindset when it comes to trading. I'm very much an if-then person. So if you get the bounce out of here, you know, that's only a couple % move. It's probably not really worth the squeeze, to be honest with you on that. But that is, I would say, a very likely, you know, path in terms of price action. Now, to the top to there, that's a little different. That's 3.5%. That might be worth it. Just depends on how you trade. But you could, I mean, very likely see a continuation in price action as well, right? Because we talked about Apple, just like the rest of them, kind of staying in a channel, and it's been working its way up and right for a very, very long time. And it's got pullbacks. There's going to be pullbacks in here, but look what you see, right? You get this pullbacks, you get a nice bounce, pullback, you get a nice bounce. Like that's likely to happen, right? And if you were to get any pullback, I mean, our bias would be towards continuation of the upside. But if it does pull back or continue to pull back, expect that you're going to get those bounces along the way. And that's where you can have some opportunities if you want to trade specifically. All right. Now, if you're just looking to long Apple, then longing it around, in that area at about 214 to what do we say, 217, 213, 217, just taking a long position. I wouldn't be against that at all. I'd say for me though, like, I'm trying to catch down here, like putting in an order at about 209, where you're at the platinum pocket, the 0.786, and the lower this trend line here that has just been freaking unbelievable. Like, look how far back this lower trend line goes. So, I mean, the reasonable thought process, I mean, it goes 2020 is crazy. You could argue back further, but let's say it's really when it was established as 2020. That's 5 years of data. 5 years of data. So putting in an order, around there, what'd I say, like 209? Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea for Apple. Just set it and forget it, unless the world starts getting weird on us. All right, looking at Ethereum, we are obviously consolidating, but what are you seeing here? Like, just that quick look, right? Quick glimpse. Quick glimpse shows you it's losing a little steam. All right, so you have lost the trend line. It was an aggressive trend line, I will admit to that. You have lost that trend line. Let's go ahead and update the fixed range volume profile real quick. Let's make sure we're up to date here. We tighten that up just a little bit. Cool. So yeah, I mean, you're really messing with the POC. The POC has actually moved down a little bit, and then the value area low. It's really getting tight there at about 4250. But underneath of you do have the 50, the 0.5. You got a very nice horizontal as well. And there's a lot of. It's very tight. There's confluence, but then there's multiple levels to this, and it's all very tight. There's not a huge spread between all of them, so it's really going to be tough in my eyes. Like, this one was very clear. We had this one nailed down, but there was a lot of things lining up in this area that nailed this down. Now it's like, it's kind of like what I was saying for Bitcoin, where there's a lot of resistance above you. There's actually a lot of support below you on Ethereum. There really is. I mean, you have the 50, you got the 0.5, a horizontal, then you straight into the golden pocket, straight into a demand zone, straight into the top of the range. I will say that, in terms of areas I do like in the shorter term, I think you'll get some price action here at around 41 down to about 4K. I really do think you'll get some price action out of that area. But the area that I like better, just because of the technicals, right? I do like, the golden pocket, demand, and retesting this range high. So for me, a better area in my eyes is about 38 to, we'll call it 3850 up to about 3950. I feel a little bit more comfortable, and we'll say even maybe probably up to 4K. But right in that area, I just really think that, one, you're going to get the liquidity off the table. All right. So yes, we've already gotten a bounce out of here. There was a lot of confluence, but now there's some liquidity on the table. And why not retest the top of the range, take that liquidity, come down to a very technical area of the golden pocket and find that support, and then see if we can get another push to the upside. But I would say that's quick. And in terms of what I would do, I won't say it'll be quick as in the move, but I would have hesitation on taking it much further than the value area low. I mean, you could even get rejection off the 0.5, but it just doesn't really leave you a lot. And that's kind of where this gets weird. Up to the 0.5, not so bad, 4%. And this is why we love crypto. You can get these gains rather quickly, unlike looking at Apple or some of the traditional stocks. And then it gets a little better, right? A 0.7 or 7% up to the value area low. I'm not against that, right? So that could be okay. That's probably something that I'm going to think about jumping on. let's go ahead and let's put a trade box on that. I think we have done that before, but I have since taken it down. Let's just take it to the bottom there. And let's say that our wick comes down to the bottom of that golden pocket. Okay, so I do like this. It's not a bad trade. 6.84%. You're looking at probably at least a 3-to-1 in terms of risk to reward. Put just a few X leverage on that thing, and that'd be a really nice trade. Right? You're looking at about 18%, 18 to 20%. That's not bad, not bad at all. And that really centers around the area at about 38.50 to about 39.50. I think that's a good little zone to probably take an opportunity. But again, I've talked a little bit about this last week, is the trend. As this is working its way down, you don't want to fight that too hard. Okay, so like I'm going to compress this just so you can understand. Like you don't want to mess with that. All right, you're more likely to fight a losing battle because it could just be coming up, retesting the support area, flipping what was support into resistance, and then ultimately rejecting and continuing to the downside. Now, I'm not saying that that's the way it's going to play out just based on looking at the structure. We're pretty sound right now. But that this will change things too, because you're getting a change of character on the daily, which is not what you want to see. That's a different battle in itself. Okay. So again, just be very, very careful with that. But again, I do think that's an opportunity. You do have some not fundamentals, but good confluence there in terms of looking at an opportunity. To the inverse of that, there could be an opportunity as well if you see a breakout retest for a little short down to this area. So that'll be a quick hitter as well. Down to that area. You could take a little short off the value area low if you see a breakout retest there. So let's do this. I'm gonna take a picture of this first. So I do like it. Let's open it up a little bit. We'll take a picture of it. There you go. And then now let's look at the inverse, right? So I think a very probable, I'm gonna take this, slide it out just a little bit. So we got a little bit more room to do some artwork. But just looking at this, I think a very realistic movement of price. Again, I'm not saying this has to happen. I'm not saying this is what I see happening. But, this is me trying to get ahead of what some potential price action could be. And that's how you get ahead of some of your trades, right? Like you try to map it out, especially if you got a 9 to 5. You got stuff going on in your life. Try to map it out a little bit. Try to get ahead of it. Because when it starts playing out the way you expect it to, that really helps you. Like you don't have to put as much thought into it because you're seeing the indications or what you were expecting to see out of price action. We got Kelly Kale in the chat. What up to you? How you doing, lady? Hope all is well. All right. So that is Ethereum. Go back to Bitcoin. I see you guys talking about a potential short on Bitcoin. So we'll talk about that. Okay, so a potential short on Bitcoin would make sense for a couple of reasons. And so I don't even have the marked up. I ain't even got the chart marked up on this one. This is actually, I think this is MEXC perpetual futures. It aligns with Bitunix. That's why I like it. So we know that there was liquidity at 112.9. That's one thing I failed to talk about. So I was going to say something about it, but I didn't. Look where this went. That's funny. It went to 112.867 on MEXC, but on Coinbase, I think it went to 940. Interesting. Yeah. So the high there was 112.940. Interesting enough, the liquidity was sitting at 112.9. So came up and it really cleared all the liquidity. Remember, there was liquidity working all the way up to the value area high. So value area high, you had liquidity, and then you saw it quickly come back into the range. So I mean, honestly, you guys looking at a short makes a lot of sense based on, you know, some of the things I teach, right? Take that liquidity off the table, reestablish the range. I could see the basis for a short. Having your stop loss above this wick right here. Where are you taking it to? That's the question. Where did you get in? Let's say you don't get in till now. What is worth it to you? Right? Are you a 2-to-1 kind of person? Because if you're getting down to the POC where you're seeing very obvious price action, that is not going to be a 2-to-1. You would have to take it down to about the golden pocket here. And really, I can see that. Let's see here. You got the weekly pivot as well. That could hold up as support. And you're starting to see a trend to the upside, right? So you don't want to fight that trend too hard. Getting yourself some live analysis. There's some trade brigade type stuff here. Y'all getting the sauce. So yeah, you're looking at this. I mean, you got to be real careful. If you guys are in, if you're taking a short, be super careful, right? See this price action, the way their support kind of building. It's ascending level of support. You got to be careful with that, okay? So you're in. You know, I don't know that you're going to get a 2-to-1 out of it. Just depends on where you got in at. Like if you guys got in around the value area high, you might get pretty close to a 2-to-1. That could be worth a stretch. I would see that. But I would say be careful. Be careful. Not against it though. Not against it. All right. TP1, POC, 111.12. There you go. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's well, I probably would, for me personally, it wouldn't be my TP1, it'd be my, I'm good. I'm good. How much you taking off the table with your TP1? Be interested to hear. You do like 25%, take 50% off the table. What's your deal, man? Do you just move your stop loss up? Everybody's got their own thing, man. They say TP1, they might just move their stop loss up to entry and lock in, you know, what they got going on. Even though it's not a true TP1, that's just kind of their metric of saying that's where I move my stop loss. So interested to hear. Definitely cool doing this live. This is why you guys come in, watch the show, get in the chat. 50%, got it, cool. Right on. Now, is that going to be, I know I'm asking like a ton of questions here. 50% as well as moving your stop loss to entry? I'm guessing so. Would be my guess. But interested to know if that's something you do. That's cool though, man. Yeah, I love seeing that. Makes a lot of sense. That's a little quick banger there. I like it. All right. Let's see here. We've talked to Bitcoin, Ethereum. Stop loss. Good man. Good man. Love to see it, Al. All right. Let's look at something else here. Did we look at Cardano last week at all? Guess we did. Well, you're welcome. This is looking good. There you go. Yeah, I remember talking about this because I was just looking at the structure. Well, did anybody take that trade? I didn't. Jeez. What am I doing with my life, guys? I gotta ask this sometimes. I get these nice trade setups. And I'm just looking at it saying, wow, good TA, bro. All right, so that's on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily real quick. Man, that's nice. All right, cool. So looking at Cardano, you are working your way up. Let's update the fixed range volume profile real quick, just to make sure that is up to date. There you go. Cool, yeah, so value area high is really that area you're struggling with right now. Got a nice little horizontal up here. But looking good. Structure's intact, man. It played out to a T. Keeping that structure alive. Got the dynamic reactor right underneath of you. Got the 0.5. Let me make sure that, yeah, that's looking all right. Yeah, you just got to get through that area of resistance. So if you did take this trade, which I'm guessing most of you didn't, but if you did take it, 1, cool. 2, make sure you're getting that stop loss up to entry, and don't be afraid to take some profits off the table right here, knowing that you have a clear area of resistance with that value area high. And you can see it with the price action as well. You only have a little bit more to run until you're really running into a horizontal level. And so I'm talking about right here. So you see how you have both support and resistance in an area? Just kind of concentrate on that. So if you're looking at it right here, that's what I'm talking about. It's just looking at the price action, right? You can see how it's respecting it. And it's not only that, once it lost it, impulsive move, breakout, retest, test what was support, flips it into resistance, and then you see that continuation down. But then we started running into some nice structure, as well as some areas that we saw confluence for a potential area to take a long position. And that looks all right. It looks all right. This could get fun though. I'd say keep an eye on Cardano. Could get fun. Why am I saying it could get fun? Well, if you break this area here, I mean, I wouldn't be against it at least moving right back to about pretty close to $1. I'd say about 97 to 98 cents. So let's measure that real quick. Let's see, about 96 and a half. Yeah, that's not bad. About 6%, but the structure is there. So that's what I like the most, is seeing the structure. This is a clean climb. This is a very clean climb. I like that a lot actually for Cardano. You want to see this area get flipped, see that act as support, get over the value area high, just get over all the junk, man. That's kind of the biggest thing. Get over all the junk, keep the structure intact. And then, I mean, up to $1 is, that psychological area. We've talked about that quite a bit. Obviously that's our last real rejection, our last high. That's an area that you got to keep an eye on, but I don't see it be a hard move. Once you get through all this, I don't see it being a hard move up to $1. And then that's when you just come back left on the chart. You start looking, and you're like, ooh, all right, man, it can get a little bit of legs up to 110 or so. But this is, again, just keep an eye on the structure, right? Coming up to 110, coming back down, taking another flipping this area of resistance into support would make sense, right? A little push up, maybe a little bit of a new high, higher low, and then do we push up to about 110 or so? Right about there. I could see something like that playing out for Cardano. And just keep an eye on it, right? I would say at this point we can probably put a trend line on it as well. Just to take a look, keep an eye on that. Let's see here. Let's move that to there. Let's interact with the price action the most. You can even take it to the wick there. I like that. Bring this down just a little bit. Let's change the color. There you go. This was the play right here, though. Look at the intersection. That's crazy. I remember talking about this actually, the breakout retest of this trend line. I remember. But now you can see the confluence, right? Now that you take that, you have that intersection. That's the nice little X setup that, not a setup, but once you're tying it all together, it's kind of cool to see. Yeah, I think for Cardano right now, you're going to have a little bit of resistance. What you're really looking for is you just want to see a continuation of the price action, at least, you know, start to see a squeeze here. So let's, the structure, we've got it. We understand the structure. Cool. So the reason I'm taking that off is because I just want to be like, hey, like if you see something that looks like this, kind of like you saw on USDT dominance, like this is okay. Hopefully that's the end result. You know, somewhere in this area. You may not even get this many, you know, rejections, but that's really what you want to keep eye on. If you do lose that trend, you know, then we start looking obviously lower, but where is it that we think we can have an opportunity to find a bounce? Let's say, I mean, 80 cents, right? 80 cents, kind of back down to where the 0.5 level is, even though it's not as applicable once you're coming back down for that second retest. If you guys are into any kind of bearish divergence, keep an eye on that. I don't know. I don't have it up. I'm not going to have it up, to be honest with you. Let's get the moving averages off here for a second. Just clean this up. Let me just see where they're at. Cool. Yeah, that's cool too, because you got the 0.5 kind of leveling out. So that might help you maintain this area. But yeah, I think about 80 cents is where you'd like to see some support. You know, those that are into it, double bottoms, bullish divergence, all that good stuff. That could be applicable. Just go look at the RSI if you like that. I'm not really into that anymore, to be honest with you. I used to, but it's just not my thing. I prefer to look at the price action and knowing, you know, where's liquidity at. Well, you can see this nice little wick right here. Honestly, yeah, I mean, I would think you would see a bounce out of the 0.5 area about 80 cents, but as I look at it some more, just looking here where you had this nice wick, you know, there's going to be liquidity here, and you got the dynamic reactor. That could be your better spot, to be honest. A little bit lower, just a little bit lower. 80 could still be your entry. You're just looking to see the price action come down here and reestablish. I would say probably right around 80 cents or so. Get over top of it. So yeah, I'd say keep your eye on that. Right now, trajectory would take you to the upside if you're just looking at the price action. All right, spent an enormous amount of time on Cardano, and it's about time to wrap it up almost. We'll do let's do a quick look at, let's look at AVAX real quick. Just real quick. Okay, you're looking for a potential breakout retest of the downside. That did not happen. You know, I'm always looking at lines in the sand, right? So basically, we were looking at this as a key level. And if it got a breakout retest to the downside, you were looking forward to find some support here at around the 0.5. So, nosy gozies. We'll take that off for now. This is good though. You're seeing an ascending level of support here. It's working its way up, man. At some point, you're going to go ahead and call this a horizontal level of resistance, and that would be an ascending triangle working in. And you know that I do like those. So this would be back on the table. I think this has been up here for quite some time. We've been looking for that. Right around 27 cents. Little breakout retest to the top side. You could get a nice move for AVAX. Really nice move. Look at the gap here. Look at the gap. And you can even see it between here and here, right? You got nice, pretty clear support, pretty clear resistance, pretty clear support, but like, I think there's just probably not a whole heck of a lot of volume in this area. So to get a nice little move up, like if you get that breakout retest of this horizontal level at about 26.5, 27, that could be a nice little move to the upside. Bring it back up to this demand zone here at about 33, maybe a little bit further down, 32. I don't know, man. You may just take it up to the demand zone, to be honest with you. That'd be a hell of a move. It'd be really, really nice. Breakout retest up to the demand zone. That's 25% for AVAX. Ain't nobody gonna be mad about that. AVAX though, if you are looking at potentially, you know, taking a limit order, I do believe I have one open on AVAX. Let's double check that. Do I? I don't have an AVAX open order, but it sounds crazy. But if I was looking at this, it would still be somewhere around about 16, 17, about 17. That's where I would take a position, a limit order. Because I'm okay with like adding to AVAX. All right, let's see here. So just of note, if you do get a nice aggressive move to the upside, one, I'd probably be out at the demand zone. But it's open. The door is open for this price to continue its way back up to this upper trend line. So keep an eye on that, right? I do think there's going to be some eyes kind of noting that we've had 2 rejections and it's been, you know, lower high, right? Lower high. Is that door open to see another lower high? And that's something you'll have to keep an eye on. And that's way up here though. So really the way you play that, you bring this down a little bit. You take this up to this demand zone here, or right short of. I would front run it. And then you wait till we break this area right here, the demand zone. So right around 33 to about 36. Just wait. Be patient. All right, take the dub and then look for another breakout retest. So it's simply just sliding it up, letting it happen again. And then the trend line is where you're done. This demand zone will extend out. There will be confluence between the demand zone and this upper trend line here. And that's at about $42. That's where the fun ends, conservatively. And then we wait again. Do you get that rejection? Because it could get nasty. It could get really nasty. Or do you get a breakout retest of the trend? And if you get a breakout retest of this trend line, game on. And days could be fun for AVAX again, because we've seen AVAX, look at this, man, up in the 140s. So could be fun. Could be fun, but there's a lot of that has to happen. There's a lot of resistance above you. I would take note of that. Cool. Sweet. All right. Daily DJ, man, that thing got wiped out, bro, in like the first 30 seconds. My crazy crew, they was just all moon. They was all moon. I was like 71% moon. It's kind of my fault, because I'm like, I don't DJ on like coins that have moved too aggressively. Yeah, that thing got cooked. It got cooked quick. No doubt about it. All right. I think we'll wrap it up here. That's a good hour. So like I said, I'm going to try to keep a schedule. We're going to do mostly 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Standard Time. Tuesdays are going to be like X days for me. I got to kind of like broaden my my reach here a little bit. So that'll be Tuesday. And then Wednesday will be back to YouTube. Thursday will be all about my Discord, all about the brigade. That'll be my concentration. And then Friday, we'll usually, I think we're going to be trying to do shows with FD on Friday as much as we can. So we're trying to make that a regular thing. I think you guys enjoyed that. We both enjoyed it. It's a good vibe. So we're going to try to keep that going. Oh yeah, there was one thing I wanted to show you guys. There was one thing. And I pointed it out a couple times. But it's really, don't get scared here. I want you to look at this chart. All right, over here on the right. Over here on the right. There was a dude I was listening to this weekend. Pretty smart guy, pretty good trader. He's expecting an altcoin move. I mean, obviously Bitcoin would move, and it does align with the cycle. Going into the end of the year, the cycle, I believe, the cycle would say that, you know, towards the end of the year, around December timeframe or so, is probably where we would likely be done with this bull market. But the altcoin move could be pretty gnarly. So I would say keep an eye on it. If Bitcoin starts making a move, understand that Bitcoin will make its move. Then you gotta wait for, you know, usually the altcoins are a little bit delayed. But like, keep an eye on that. We start, getting some aggressive moves to the upside for Bitcoin, and then we see that consolidation. This is what we saw this time. Remember, we saw a pretty traditional move, right? Bitcoin moved up, made a new all-time high, and then it consolidated. And when it consolidated, you saw that Bitcoin dominance come down. All right, well, Bitcoin dominance coming down and total market cap going up, there's an opportunity here for your guys' altcoins to start moving in the right direction. So keep your eyes out on that. I'd say, this Q4 here, going into October, I know some people call that Pumptober. October, November, the last 2 years, we've seen a pretty good move to the upside. So we're getting there, right? Early September, I think we saw a pullback last year, early September into mid-September. And then that's pretty much when it started. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just going by historicals. I'm just saying, hey, the last 2 years, this is what happened. So, don't have your pants around your ankles, because there's been times in the market where I just didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, ain't no way it's going to go up. Ain't no way it can go up. And it sure as hell did. So be ready for that. Just protect yourself, right? Like, if it does for whatever reason do the opposite and comes down, then protect yourself with a stop loss. Be smart about it. Or if you're willing to ladder into a position, I am at some points when I lose key levels, I will be willing to ladder into positions. It just has to be right. Like, when I was doing it, I knew that the market should theoretically still be bullish. And so it was really revolved around a lot of the tariff fiasco and things like that, where the market was pulling back. I was like, I'm okay with laddering into positions here. So, yeah. Anyways, just want to kind of revisit that, repoint that out to you guys. Keep an eye on it, and just look for, any kind of bullish momentum going into October. Could be a sign for us that maybe we take a little bit longer standing long positions. So there you go. All right, I'm out of here. Much love to you guys. Hope everyone has a great day. As always, come on over to the Discord and make sure you give a little like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. That is very helpful for the channel. We are trying to grow here, and I think we're about 800 watch hours off right now from you guys getting your emojis back. I know you're excited about that. So anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. As always, trade safe, be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.